Chris Camboris here to share with you my first dry aged steak experience. And, well, as you could tell, I didn't wait to start eating before I started sharing this. I couldn't wait. I ordered this steak about 2 weeks ago from our local meat market, and I this morning gave it a thin layer of some sea salt. I'm sorry, of some Himalayan pink salt, and I got home roughly around like 6 o'clock in the evening, and started preheating my skillet. And once I felt the skillet was at an adequate temperature, I just gave this steak a good sear on both sides. I actually I know every John Wayne out there likes to brag about how like they like their meat so rare and so bloody and whatever. And I'm a firm believer that you could still have a good, tasty, delicious steak and not have it bleeding all over you. So I actually like to get my steak to like a medium well consistency. Good sear, no pink on the inside, still moist, still tender, still juicy. Um, my experience thus far with this steak, and all I did was season it with butter and salt, and with the accompaniment of a really nice glass of red wine. The complexities that you get from this steak versus, if I could equate it to like a scale, um, you know, plain old bland meat that you get from a fast food restaurant being a zero, and then you have, say, something like a really nice average ribeye being, on the top end of things. This is like, I don't know how to describe it. The meat is tender, absolutely tender. I don't claim to be any expert when it comes to cooking a steak. I'm gonna get a bunch of flack. Everyone's gonna criticize how I made this. Did I let it rest long enough? I don't know. I don't care. The flavor is outstanding. It's moist. It's delicious, and you get, especially when you get to the parts closest to the bone, and you can enjoy the little bits of fat. They're just more tender. They're more succulent. There's buttery notes, and I don't mean this in a gross way, but like some cheesy notes, like think of like some really like dry aged sharp um, uh, complex cheeses that give you like these nutty salty nuances. Mm. Oh my god, there's no words in the English vocabulary to describe this spectrum of flavors in a meat. You know, I mean, you can go through your descriptors for wine: spicy, earthy, fruity, jammy. With when it comes to steak, what is there? This plethora of like umami notes. Um, there's a savory note there. There's no garlic in this. Mm. It just reminds me of favorite every favorite bite of steak you've ever taken. You can achieve that with a dry aged steak. So it's well worth the extra money. The portions are, I'm not going to lie, I spent about $28 for this steak. Would I rather spend $28 at the grocery store, bring it home, cook it myself, or would I rather spend probably double that amount at a restaurant and have it slathered in God knows what kind of processed garbage, with, made by someone who honestly doesn't care whether or not I get a great experience out of it. This was cooked to my liking. It was fantastic. I'm full. I'm full. No sides, no nothing unless you count the vino. Um, Obviously, from an economic standpoint, I can't afford dry aged steak every week, not every day. But once a month, once every other month, well worth it. Absolutely well worth it. So I hope to follow up with more videos like this. Um, Please continue to follow me. I'm just trying to get this channel launched. Um, I'm in the beginning phases of really trying to tie up exactly what it is I want to uh, convey on this channel, because I myself am on sort of a journey, sort of a transformation. So until I realize where that's kind of heading, it's really hard to really um, pack all that into like a little box to know who exactly it is I want to reach here. I could say that I am a middle-aged father. Um, I used to weigh about 50 pounds more than what I weigh right now. I was sick and tired of how I felt, found out about the carnivore diet, gave it a shot, and I've just been sticking with it, and the benefits have just been happening nonstop through and through. I occasionally like to treat myself with some veggies, um, even the occasional coconut milk fruit smoothie, following some of the advice of some other influencers out there that proclaim that having a little bit of carbs around your workout time will help with things like glycogen and actually putting some muscle mass on. I've always had a problem being too scrawny growing up, so it's not like I have like that these stores where like once I work out, I immediately just bulk up because my body just knows what to do with this stuff. My body's always been really skinny, except for when I hit about 40 and I got really stressed and I started eating like garbage, and I packed on about 40 to 50 pounds. Some people had no problem with how that looked. I felt like garbage. Um, so really, it's all about how you feel. I've been doing the carnivore thing now for about 6 months, carnivore ketovore thing for about 6 months, and I feel absolutely tremendous. I feel amazing. I feel more in control of myself. Not perfect, but I feel more in control of myself than I ever have. Um, Even since high school. Even in high school, I noticed I was having crazy blood sugar spikes. Um, Thought this was just something I just have to put up with. Um, but no, it's been fantastic. So I really hope that my journey is going to um, add to the movement of educating people of the fact that you have options out there, and that option is not to necessarily add one more pill to your regimen of drugs. I currently don't take any prescriptions. Um, God knows I've gone through my fair share of difficulties where if I would have just taken the average advice, someone would have just said, well, you need to go to a doctor and I'm sure they can prescribe you a pill for this, joint pain, ADHD, all this stuff, hypoglycemic. I lost a relationship over the fact that I refused to get on drugs over my blood sugar. I felt like it had to be rooted in my diet. So I'm enjoying a keto diet right now. Lots of high fat, lots of meat. Um, I probably don't eat my first meal till usually about noon. I get a good workout in before that. I haven't felt better. I feel better now than I did in my 20s. So I really hope that this is the beginning of something that's going to make a impact on anyone who used to feel like I did, who felt like, well, I guess this is it. I guess this is just what happens when you hit your 40s. I don't accept that. I think we have knowledge. I think we have information. I think we have a lot of misinformation out there that is causing our loved ones, our friends to make a lot of poor decisions. And I think it's about time that we realize we can take control of our health and our nutrition. So keep following me, and I will try to put out some more content. Cheers.